And welcome to, well, what is this? My name... Oh, God, this is a auspicious start to my podcasting career. Okay, who am I? I am Stuart Skinned Bear Garrard, and you are listening to the inaugural numero uno, number one episode of Skinned Bear. Yes, it's another podcast for your feed, featuring me, Stuart Skinned Bear Garrard. So there we are. How are you? You alright? Good. Anyway, moving on. What is Skinned Bear? Well, this is a weekly podcast where myself, Stuart Skinned Bear Garrard, have I reiterated that enough? Do you get the concept now? Do you know my name? Good. I will be discussing anything that I find interesting. So we're talking films, games, books, music, sports, professional wrestling, World Cup, anything, politics, news. It's just going to be me rambling for about an hour, to be honest. And that's all good, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so if you this is going awfully. This is going awfully awful. I'm going to start this again. Do you know what? I just listened back to my intro to the podcast, and I was thinking to myself, now that is quite a rambling, off-putting introduction. If anyone were to listen to that for the first time, then they definitely would not continue to listen to the show. But I also thought, actually, that introduction has charm, and it also is indicative of the ethos behind this show, in that it's going to be irreverent, it's going to be funny, it's going to be, well, I hope it's funny anyway. Anyway, it's going to be a mishmash of different bits and pieces. It's going to be me flying by the seat of my pants. It's going to be predominantly unscripted, and I think that is the way forward, and I think that is what's going to make this show stand out a little bit from the other professional, more well put together, more excellent, more higher quality podcasts. So yeah, there you go. That's what you can expect from Skin Bear. It's going to be a show that's going to fly by the seat of its pants, and it's going to, be about an hour long. It's going to be me sitting here with my headset on, just chewing the cud about everything that is quite geeky. So there you go. I was going to go into a whole spiel about what my ethos for the podcast is going to be, but essentially that is it. you know. I'm just going to record some stuff, see what happens, and see if people like it. Yeah, man. So by now, I guess you are asking yourself, who or what is a skinned bear? Well, skinned bear is me. My name is Stuart Skin Bear Garrard. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that. I was given the nickname Skin Bear basically because I'm a fat, balding bastard, and I look like a bear that has been skinned. Now, if you know me, that's nothing could be further from the truth, because I am one of the shyest, most meek and mild people you will probably ever meet. But I'll take it. It's a nickname, you know. If you... I'll start that again. Skinned Bear. I chose Skin Bear for the podcast name because essentially the podcast is going to be about my interests. It's about me. Yeah. I am such a big head. Yeah, it's about me. It's about what I like. It's about the stuff I like, and it's about me giving my opinion about the stuff I like. That's not to say I might not get a guest or two onto the show in the future. Who knows? That's if I can get anyone to come onto this stinking pile of shite. But anyway, I digress. That's what a skin bear is. It's me, basically. Skin bear. They are. If you may not be familiar with my work, or you may be familiar with my previous work, I basically produced a channel on YouTube for about 4 months called Is That Film Good? Now, I loved doing that. Let me rewind a bit. Originally, my whole idea was to try and become this professional film critic. Actually, let me rewind even further. Back at the start of the year, no, October last year, I went part-time at work to do my masters. That all fell through because I didn't really like what university had become. I felt I had been there and done that, and it just wasn't for me. So I withdrew from university. I continued to stay part-time at work, and my next harebrained scheme was to try and fashion myself a career as a film critic. So to do that, I started up a YouTube channel called Is That Film Good? Where each week I would have the Is That Film Good blogcast, which is basically a magazine show where I rambled on about the latest cinematic release, and I loved doing it. But I don't know, something in me just felt that trying to obtain and do this as a career it's probably never going to happen. I was taking the production of those videos way too seriously, and I thought, you know what, sod this, I'm going to go back to work full time, which is what I have done. But I still had that little seed of wanting to produce something like a podcast, and hey, it's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. So I am producing this podcast, but I'm not seeing it as a way into any kind of cinematic criticism career. I just wanted to do something that was fun and do it for the fun of it, and I love doing it, and we'll see what happens. It's just basically a glorified diary, I suppose. It's just me venting my boring life to the world and its 3 listeners. But why choose a podcast? Well, I chose podcast because I'm such a fan of podcasts. And I've got so many influences and people who have guided me, much like an old Obi-Wan Kenobi guided a young Luke Skywalker through the pathways in the minefield of controlling the Force.
Luke, You will go to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system.
There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
Man! Luke! Luke! Don't do this, Luke. Come on, give me a sign here. Not much time. Ben. Hang on, kid. Dagobah system. Dagobah. This may smell bad, kid. Yoda. But it'll keep you warm. Till I get the shelter up. Dagobah. I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
So who are these great wise sages that have guided me, and who can be blamed for me producing this pile of shit? Well, I'm looking at you, the Same Coin podcast. That's right, Ditz, Stabby, and Fordy, and the other dude that edits. So you are the ones to blame. I apologise now for wholeheartedly just copying your complete editing style. Thanks for that. But you know, what's that saying they say? Yeah, you thieving bastard. No. What's it? Something is the sincerest form of flattery. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, well, I haven't copied it completely, but I love the way that they just ramble on about anything, and I just throw in random clips from songs, etc. in the editing process. Mr. Matt Smashed, you are quite the editing legend, so forgive me for stealing quite a little bit of your editing style, but I think it's amazing, and it's what I'm going to do, so sue me. Actually, no, don't sue me. Well, who cares? I'm not taking any money from this, so anyway, I'm rambling now, but thank you, the Same Coin. I've listened to you guys for a couple of years now, and I've been following you ever since like the Cranky Gamers days, and through to the Same Coin, and through the Silent Hidashira days. Those were dark days. Through to, I'm only joking, Mr. Rooney. You are a legend as well. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I love you guys, and you are my inspiration. So, Mr. Ditz, Mr. Fordy, Mr. Matt Smashed, Mr. Stabby, Dastardly Jabby, you the man, and I'll give you a shout out on Twitter. I just don't say that I've mentioned you in my first inaugural podcast, because you are ace. Anyway, let's move on. What am I here to talk about? I'm here to talk about some games, some films, some TV shows, and other bits and pieces that I've been up to this week. So what have I been doing? Let's move on to that.
The stewardess said that both pilots.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Doctor, I've checked everyone. Mr. Stryker's the only one.
What flying experience have you had?
Oh, I flew single-engine fighters in the Air Force, but this plane has 4 engines. It's an entirely different kind of flying, altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying.
Besides, I haven't touched any kind of plane in 6 years.
Mr. Stryker, I know nothing about flying. But there's one thing I do know. You're the only one on this plane who can possibly fly it. You're the only chance we've got.
Anyway, moving on from that rather dishevelled and unfocused opening few segments onto what have I been doing this week. I was going to call it what have I been. I didn't know what to call this segment because it's not what have I been playing. It's not what have I been watching. It's not what have I been reading. It's a bit of everything. It's basically what have I been doing. So here we are. This is what I have been doing. I want to start off by declaring right now that I guess these podcasts will probably get a bit better as they go on, and as you get to know me more as a presenter and as a dude. So you might not know what to expect from these podcasts right now. So I may need to just outline what I'm into and that kind of business. Just so you know, I am a massive Nintendo super fan. To the point where I collect Nintendo bits and pieces. I'm talking old consoles, memorabilia, figurines, toys, clothing, anything Nintendo, then I am there. I'm such a Nintendo boss. And last year I actually repurchased a Super Nintendo from eBay for around, I think it's about 50, 60 quid. Thankfully, my mother had thrown out my original Super Nintendo. Well, I say that, it may still be in the loft. I need to double check that, but regardless, it doesn't matter now because I have my own new console. I picked up the Super Mario World control deck. I think it's actually down by my feet right now. Yeah, Super Mario World control deck. Bundled in with Super Mario World, obviously. It came with 2 controllers. I had to buy a SCART lead separately, so I'm running it through onto my 32-inch HD TV. It looks alright. I'm pretty sure I heard rumours that it wouldn't work, or perhaps it is. Perhaps it isn't supposed to work, and I'm just causing untold damage to my HD TV without anyone or being oblivious to that. If I shouldn't be running it through my HD TV, do let me know, because I don't really want to go without a telly. Anyway, I picked up this console from eBay for about 60 quid last year. Last summer I was playing through Super Mario World, and that game is tough. That game is super tough. I don't know whether it's because my skills have diminished over the last 20 years, but Super Mario World is one bloody hard game. I'm talking that Forest of Illusion is some serious shit. The ghost houses in there are completely mental. Multiple exits. Oh, I'm telling you, it's not good. Not good for my sanity. Because ask my wife. But the other day, this week, I have also purchased Super Star Wars from eBay. Now, I was so pleased with this because it's in such good condition. I paid £17 for it, and it's boxed. Box has no tears or any scuff marks, which you would expect from a Super Nintendo, essentially a 20-year-old game by now. 22 years old, I think it is now. But yeah, the condition of the box was immense. It still worked, obviously. I still blow on my cartridges. I know you're not meant to do that. You're meant to get rubbing alcohol and all this kind of business, but quite frankly, who has the time or patience? I'd rather just blow on the cartridge and make it rust that bad boy up and whack it in the console. So yeah, got Super Star Wars. One of my all-time favourite games, I would say. Oh, again, so hard. No save points or anything. If you die and you're out of continues, dude, you have to start right back at the start of the game. I'm telling you. Oh! But what I love about that game is the love and craft and the homage is basically to the Star Wars films. Okay, there's boss characters in there which are questionable. I don't ever remember the giant Sarlacc pit monster being in Star Wars Episode 4. I don't remember there being a massive 10-foot high tall green beast in the cantina scene. I don't remember there being Ed 209 style droid in the Death Star, but still, it's entertaining. I say entertaining. Yesterday I was playing that game, and I'm not sure if you know the game, but I think about around the 3rd level, you're inside the Sandcrawler, trying to get to R2D2, and oh my days, I think I used around three continues for that. Bearing in mind, a continue is essentially 4 lives, I believe. Oh, that game is tough. Jumping over tar pits, and when you land in the tar, it's instant permadeath. Oh, that's what I love about these 90s games. They're so refined, they're so pure. They don't mess about. They're just complete, utter arcade, skillful games. Not like your pussy games of today. Not like your press a button, save anywhere. Ugh. Dude, gamers back in the 90s were hardcore. So that's pretty much what I've been doing with my Super Nintendo. I have been looking on eBay for something else. I'm thinking maybe, I'm not sure if I want to get Super Empire Strikes Back. That's super expensive. That's around 30 quid. Super Return of the Jedi, about the same price. I'm assuming they're more expensive based on their rarity. But I really want Shadowrun. I played that growing up as a kid in some holidays, and that was awesome. But that again, that's really expensive. It's really annoying because some of these rare Square RPGs like Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana. I know we had these games, and now they go in for like £50 on eBay, and I can't believe it. We chucked them away. They've probably gone in the bin somewhere. Just chucked £100 down the toilet. Shocking. So that was it. I've been playing my Super Nintendo. Basically, I'm just trying to fill in the gaps, the gaming gaps from my Wii U. To be honest, I mean, moving on to the Wii U, I'm just continuing to play Mario Kart 8. That game is absolutely immense. I'm playing it with my wife Amanda. Playing it 2-player online. Oh, getting Donkey Kong in his super, what they call the orange sports car with my cyber slick wheels, annihilating the competition. I say that we're predominantly coming 7th or 8th. Yeah, we're that bad. But dude, I don't quite know why I just said dude there. But anyway, Mario Kart Online is so addictive. That game is probably the favourite game I've played all year. Just super fun, super. It harks back to what I was saying about those 90s games. It's so pure and just refined. There's no fat to it whatsoever. It's just a pure, all about the gameplay, fun aspect of racing with your friends. And that's what I love about Nintendo. They're all about getting your friends together and having some great gameplay experiences in your living room. I'm all for online gaming, but there's nothing. There's nothing on giving your friend beside you a blue shell on the line. Absolutely nothing. That is the purest, most awesome form of video gaming you can experience, in my opinion. And on my 3DS, I actually have restarted my Animal Crossing town. I have a habit of resetting my consoles and wanting that experience all over again. I'm a bit mental like that, a bit OCD. But because I hadn't played Animal Crossing for so long, I just felt that it's going to be such a hassle. There's going to be new people in my town anyway. I'm going to have to clean it up, pick all the flowers on my days. I can't be asked. So I just went and started again. So Mayor Stewart has moved into Trumpton, and I am making some proper decisions on this town. I'm cleaning stuff up. I am sending out some rather amazing letters to my residents. I'm picking some peaches. That's not a euphemism. I am, just great fun. That game is super amazing. One of my favourite franchises of all time. Again, great to pick up and play with your wife if she has a copy, which she does. So yeah, Animal Crossing is what it is. I just love my Nintendo. Don't get me wrong. I also have an Xbox One and a PS4, but I don't use them. do not use them. That's the thing. I'm going to sell my Xbox One and get that bad boy on eBay. And the PS4 is just gaming, modern hardcore gaming today. I should save this rant for another time, but I'll just gloss over it briefly. That modern hardcore gaming today is so dull, so by the numbers. For me, there's no I don't know, creativity. There's no. I turned on Watch Dogs for my PS4. I downloaded Watch Dogs. I was playing that for half an hour, and in that half an hour I was completely bored. It was so dull. That's why I love the nostalgia of Nintendo. And personally, for me, growing up and getting older and thinking of families and children, etc., I want my kids to grow up on Nintendo like I grew up on Nintendo. So essentially it is the Disney of video games, and I'm all about that, and that's what I love. And I've no shame in doing that. I'm a complete Nintendo fanboy. So you can expect more Nintendo updates from me as we progress through this podcast. Not today, obviously, but in weeks to come. I'm pretty sure I'll be playing that Mario Kart 8 for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now I appreciate that may get dull for for you, the listener, but I'll do my best to sell that bitch. So that's what I've been doing with my gaming. Just lots of Nintendo, and that will continue. I tell you what, I've watched two cracking films this week. Both directed by Ty West. First of all, I think last weekend my wife and I watched The House of the Devil. Now this film was not recommended to me, but it featured on another great podcast that I listen to, Movie Matters, with Count Fosco on Twitter. He is a very knowledgeable chap. He hosts this the Movie Matters podcast, and I believe one of their very first. I'm not sure if it's the very first episode or their first Halloween special. Really great stuff. It's a real tradition with me these days is listening to their Halloween specials. They reviewed The House of the Devil by Ty West, and I think it caused some debate within the two hosts or the three hosts at the time. And it's been on my mind to watch ever since. Been on the back burner, and then I saw that it was on the Horror Channel a few weeks ago, and then I Sky Plus it, and then we subsequently watched it. So it's a really amazing film, great style. What is it? It's essentially it's a horror film of sorts. It's about a babysitter who takes on this job at this eerie house with this strange family. And it's set in the 1980s, and this babysitter goes and accepts this job because she needs the money. And shit goes down. Occult stuff goes down. Devil worshipping goes down. And it's really good. What I love about Ty West's film, or the two examples of Ty West's film that I've seen, is his pacing. He's a great director, and he can pace his films wonderfully. There's a great build-up of tension. Both the films I'm talking about today have very similar structures in that they will build up a tension using sound and visual, little not gags, but little scares in the distance, like just to draw you in. They make you think, oh, is something happening there? They draw you in, and then the shit hits the fan in the last 30 minutes. Now, that might not be to everyone's taste. I know people may think it's a bit slow to build up, too slow to get going, but I think that's just systematic of today's gore-fest horror films. Your saws and your bullshit like that. Yeah, House of the Devil. Wonderful, wonderful film. What was I going to say? I was going to say, yes, the style. I mean, it's basically it's kind of set, or the aesthetic of the film is very much of a. It's an 80s visual aesthetic. I don't know what he's done to the actual film itself. By film, I mean you don't know the medium, but it has almost a VHS style grainy texture to it. The music is obviously 80s influence. It's set in the 80s, and it just adds kind of like a video nasty feel to it. I'm not sure I'm explaining that well enough, but you know what I mean. It just adds another dimension to the terror, if as it were, because your mind goes back to these video nasties and you're expecting something that probably won't come, and if it doesn't come eventually, not as violent as, say, I don't know, an Evil Dead or what have you. But House of the Devil, great film, thoroughly recommend it. Looking on IMDb, it's only got 6.5 out of 10. That is absolutely criminal. Stars Jocelyn Donahue as Samantha, Tom Noonan as Mr. Ullman. Yeah, written and directed by Ty West. And that subsequently brought me onto the 2011 film, The Innkeepers. Again, written and directed by Ty West. It's another haunted house style film, really. Again, another great pacing in that film, and again, yeah, it's just a wonderful horror film. I thoroughly recommend that. The most noticeable for its, I only realised this when I was watching it. It doesn't star, but one of the predominant roles is Kelly McGillis of Top Gun fame. Can't believe that. And man, she looked rough. Oh dear. But yeah, The Innkeepers. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to, give any spoilers away, or I want you to go and watch it and make up your own minds. But if you do watch it, let me know what you think. Again, The Innkeepers is 5.5 on IMDb. IMDb, no, absolutely nothing. So yeah, I believe Ty West has some more films coming out. He's slowly becoming one of my favourite directors at the moment. I believe I've got VHS on Blu-ray. I know that doesn't sound right. The film VHS, I have that on Blu-ray, and I believe he directed one of the sequences of that film, which I need to watch. I've heard that it's not great, but I'll give it a go. Yeah, so, and he also, I've been told by good old my friend Count Fosco to look out for The Sacrament, which is coming out soon. So that's another Ty West film. A news team trails a man as he travels to an undisclosed location to find his missing sister. Upon entering Eden Parish and meeting the community's leader, it becomes apparent to the newcomers that this paradise may not be as it seems. So that sounds quite good. But we'll wait and see what becomes of that. That's all I've really been watching film-wise. I see Transformers is out soon. I'm quite looking forward to watching that, really. I'm a bit of a Transformers fan. Don't get me wrong, they're not the most creative or well-directed films known to man, or written films known to man, but there's something to be said for going to a cinema and just having a balls out Michael Bay flashy loud experience. To me, that's what no, I was going to say that's what cinema is all about, but it really isn't, is it? But do you know what I mean? Yeah, I should like going to see Michael Bay films. Sod it. I'm not proud. Love it. And I believe Channel 4 have been showing. They shoot a first Transformers film at the weekend, so I've got that Sky Plus, and I assume they're going to be showing them all up to the run up until Transformers is out. So I shall be watching the first Transformers film with my wife at some point. So that's what I've been watching film-wise. What else is on my show notes? There you Done my Super Nintendo, TV, Fargo. So I watched the very first episode of Fargo last week, and that was absolutely incredible. Produced by the Coen Brothers, I believe, and obviously it feels like a companion piece to the film of the same 1996 film of the same name. Martin Freeman is Lester Nygaard. Oh heck! And in this first episode, you get the impression that he's a henpecked guy who has the whole world walking all over him, and then he just finally snaps. Is it okay to? No, I won't say how he snaps because that'll be spoiling it. But he meets up with this other character played by Billy Bob Thornton, who is absolutely balls out amazing in this TV show. That first episode, he was incredible. He's so intense. I know he was into some weird crap when he was with Angelina Jolie, but he was he's super intense in this TV show. To the point, there's a scene when Colin Hanks plays a police officer who stops him for speeding, and Billy Bob Thornton goes on this diatribe about dragons, etc., and Colin Hanks just lets him keep on going. Hilarious. I hate Colin Hanks and his smug mug. But yeah, Fargo is great. I need to keep watching those because a guy at work I know is also watching them at the same time. We both recorded them, so I cannot let him get ahead of me. I need to start watching that, catching up. It's actually finished now, I believe. The final episode aired last week, so I think it's about 16 episodes. So I shall be watching it over the next couple of weeks, and I shall keep you informed. Wrestling.
Do you want Y2J? Or do you want Booker T? So while I was trying to make that decision, I drove over to the Sonic Drive-In, ordered a jalapeno burger, a chicken fried steak sandwich, a chili cheese dog with extra onions, French fries, tater tots, washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
I am a complete and utter wrestling fan nut. Super fan, super nut. I love it. I go to Monday Night Raw when it's in London. I watch Raw every week. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't see the point. No storylines have progressed. I have the WWE Network. I have jumped through various VPN hoops to get the WWE Network before it comes out in the UK. I highly recommend it. The network, essentially, by the way, when it comes out in this country, get it. It's amazing. The amount of content on there is incredible. I'm talking watching pay-per-views from '96, King of the Ring tournaments featuring, I don't know, what's his name? Big Daddy Viscera versus Savio Vega and all that kind of business. That's how hardcore I am. Get it? It's incredible. So this week last week it was the last episode of Raw leading up to the Money in the Bank ladder match, which at time of recording happened last night, which I need to watch on the network. And Raw has been in a strange flux, kind of in limbo since Daniel Bryan's neck injury. It feels like for the first few weeks after that injury happened, they were just understandably scratching around trying to find storylines that they could use to obviously replace the storylines that they had in place. and it feels like they're trying to eventually getting back on track. I've enjoyed the build up to this pay-per-view. I'm a bit disappointed in what happened with the Shield and how they were split up. But yeah, I mean, I'm predicting, unfortunately, a John Cena win in the ladder match. As much as I would love Bray Wyatt to win in that match, I don't think it's going to happen. I think John Cena is going to win, but I do have a caveat. I think whoever wins the secondary Money in the Bank ladder match will cash in on that night. I think that's a good idea because that serves two purposes. A, that gets John Cena up another title reign, so he can get up to the magic number and beat Ric Flair, and also gives an opportunity to a new champion. I actually suspect that Roman Reigns might end the night as champion, and I hope that is the case. I would love to see that. He is the breakout guy from the Shield, so I look forward to watching that pay-per-view. And I shall report. I watch wrestling every week, so I'm sure this podcast will include some of my ramblings on wrestling. What I do want to say is I loved the send-off that Vicky Guerrero got. I believe she has officially left the company now, and she is actually, I think she's doing some kind of business degree. I'm sure I read that on the dirt sheets. So on last week's Raw, she got a send-off where she had to have a match with Stephanie McMahon, or she was fired, or she got fired anyway. But she ended up chucking Stephanie McMahon into a big pile of what looked like shit. But I assume it wasn't shit for health and safety reasons, but it certainly looked like shit. And obviously Stephanie fired her. Vicky gave a nice little tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and she was off into the sunset. And then she posted on Twitter and on WWE.com this lovely letter of thanks that she thanks everyone from Bill DeMott to Layla to Triple H and Stephanie and Vince and everyone. It is really touching to read. So I thoroughly recommend you go and read that letter. I know a lot of people hated Vicky, but I tell you what, she was she got some of the best heat you'll ever hear from a heel manager. She was, although annoying, she was incredible at what she did. And yeah, fair play to you, Vicky. You went out on a high, and I'm sure Eddie would be proud.
Viva la raza! I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Yo, mamacita, I got that passion that's lasting long. Los mujeres fall in love with that Latin charm. One woman isn't enough, amigo. Siempre cogiendo más mujeres porque soy latino. And I'm tougher than tough, calling your bluff, cuz I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Yeah, I don't care if you don't like me. Everybody wants to fight me. Do you feel it? Hey, óyelo claro, I ain't the one you wanna meet. Hay nada más caliente. I'm too hot for you, yo. Latino heat.
So now we come to the closing of the show, really. That's kind of all I've got really to ramble on about this week. I've done a few bits and pieces, as you can tell. I've watched some films, I've watched some TV, played some games, watched some wrestling. I need to figure out, going forward with future shows, I need to figure out a way where that won't continue to be boring to you. If for me, discussing this stuff, I think film, TV, and wrestling will be fine because I'm watching new stuff every week, and there'll always be new stuff to talk about, particularly with wrestling and TV. But I do worry about the gaming because I'm a lover of Nintendo. Nintendo don't always have, the most consistent release strategy that they could possibly have. So I may be playing that Mario Kart for a good few weeks. But then saying that, Animal Crossing, there's always tales to tell in Animal Crossing, isn't there? I'll try and make it as entertaining as I can. But there may be weeks where I don't discuss gaming and I'll focus more on wrestling or TV and film, vice versa, etc. So, but I hope you enjoy listening to what I'm going to say. I'm certainly enjoying just putting it out onto the internet, and I'm certainly going to enjoy editing and playing around with that kind of stuff. So, even if I get 10 listeners, I'll be happy to continue to do it, to be honest. So there you go. I just want to mention my Twitter address, etc. If you want to get in contact with me, I am on Twitter, and my address is @skinnedbear. So track me down, stalk me on Twitter, send me a message. My email address, if you want to email me, is skinnedbear@icloud.com. So I welcome anything, offers of money, etc., etc. That's really about it. I just want to thank both of you guys for listening, and I suspect going forward this will probably be recorded and edited and released on a Sunday. As I'll be going back to work, I won't be able to do it in the week like I did with my YouTube channel. So yeah, look for this on a Sunday, I guess, and we'll see what happens. I hope you've enjoyed it. If not, then shove it up your ass. Peace out.